Hey guys, Pete, welcome back. And yesterday we explained the importance of being able to have topspin on the ball, where the ball is going end over end, if you want to have a chance of being able to someday swing freely at your shots and not have to worry if the ball is going to go in or out. So it's a great concept, and I told you that today I'd be back with my favorite tool to show you a no-fail system on how to start to develop topspin. So let's get started. This is what I would do with you if you are here on the court with me, and you will start to feel what topspin is. So here we go. So I'm going to set up my Topspin Pro, and we're going to move the camera over to the side there so we can get a really good look at it, and we'll go through our first exercise. So the first thing I want you to do with me is forget about tennis. Everybody's always in the tennis mode, and they want to have the racket in their hand. But if you were with me, what I would do is I would take the racket out of your hand and I would have you scrape a ball. Now, you can, again, if you don't have a Topspin Pro, that's fine too. I would just have you take your hand and work on kind of scraping and creating friction with your hand and have it move from low up. But I don't want you to swing at this point. I want you to literally go slow and feel it and then kind of scrape. But it's much more effective when you can actually see the ball roll, because then you're like, oh my gosh, that's definitely topspin. I know I'm doing it right. I mean, this lets you know in a very simple way. It gives you feedback if you have topspin or not. So what I do is I have people come below the ball, come up to the ball, stop there. Many people will just go and swing and it'll either be good or bad, but I actually want someone to stop on that, feel it from below, and then start to roll up through and over, right? So it's coming here and just trying to make that ball roll. And if you could, already you can see it looks pretty good. And you can see that the ball is spinning there. We'll even get more of a close-up on the ball so you guys can see. So look at that right there. Lots of roll. Now the next thing we're gonna do, and I would have you standing up. I just want to you guys really be able to focus on this so you can see the ball spin and you can see exactly what I'm doing. You don't have to be on your hands and knees to do this. The next thing I'm gonna do is have my student now I like to start people in the semi-western grip. So I would have them put the racket on the ground and pick it up like they're holding a frying pan. And again, people's temptation is to whack the ball and try and get topspin on it. I would just put their hand right here, right on the ball so they can feel it. And before they even do a follow through, I just want you to learn how to massage the ball up and down. And this looks pretty easy, and for many people it is easy, but for some people, because they just don't have the feeling of this yet, actually just moving like this, like I am, is hard for some people in the beginning, believe it or not, and that's okay. So I'm going to have them do this until they feel comfortable with this. Now once I can tell that they can really feel that ball going back and forth, massaging on the strings, then all I'm going to do is ask you to lift up and follow through over your shoulders. Lift up and follow through over your shoulders. And it's very important too that the racket faces outward, so the fence over there would have the strings pointing that way. You don't want to wrap yourself this way, and all kinds of different funky ways people finish when they're learning how to play tennis. So again, I feel it, I go up and down, and then, because that contact point is so important. What's the most important is that you come to the ball and you have good contact. So that would be our next thing, and it's very important that the strings are not open at all, because when you go to do that, it's going to be very tough to get a consistent, nice spinning ball. So there we go. So we have topspin going now. Now we're going to take it to the next level to where we add a little bit of swing to it. So I'm going to stand up and get us more into a proper position to where we're going to start looking a little more like a professional tennis pro. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to have you do is have your racket, you've got your grip, and we're gonna practice a unit turn where our toes are facing forward, and then they're just pivoting and coming out here. So we're in a ready position, both hands on the racket. All we need to do is pivot and have our arms extended out, right? I like to think of this as a little bit of an uneven tabletop. So imagine that you're inviting someone for dinner and you've got a table, but it's slightly sloping upwards, and that's because your wrist is just cocked a little bit. See that? So I got my wrist cocked rather than even or down. We've got it cocked up just a bit, okay? And that's gonna help us really get some momentum into the shot. It's not gonna stay up there forever. So I'm here, and then what I'm now practicing is then coming down just below it, and I'm turning out a little bit. So I'm kind of doing this little move, like I'm gonna come here and get a puppy and pet the puppy backward. Okay, so pretend we've got the puppy and we're pay it backward, and we're just flexing our wrist back a little bit. So that's here to there. And as I do that, notice how my hip is also engaged. My hip is kind of making that move start to happen. And I don't want to bring the racket way back. In fact, the shorter the swing, and the ball's coming really fast, the shorter backswing I want. So this is a move that you can do in the beginning of your tennis game, but it's actually quite an advanced move, because if Roger Federer or Novak Djokovic had a ball coming really super fast at them, all they would do is that and that, and then they'd hit that topspin, right? That looks pretty good. So we're looking to not take a big swing. We're here, now we're down low. So I'd start you just below the ball, not too far away, and come up, stop, feel it, and follow through. So we're not just hitting the ball yet. We're coming down, we're coming up, we're stopping, and following through. Down, up, stop on it, follow through. Now the better we feel with that, and we feel like we're finding the ball pretty good, and got that spin, I'll allow you to slowly come and hit the ball. We're not trying to kill the ball. It doesn't take that you are hitting the ball. It doesn't take you to swing very fast at the ball to get spin on. That's one of the things that people think. It doesn't take that you have to swing so fast. You can see that there's spin there. And then eventually we come here and we just can get it a little further back and then hit. So there you go, guys. Now you're looking like a pro. So I'm telling you, anyone can learn how to hit topspin. As you can see, this is pretty simple. In fact, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take someone from zero and we're gonna turn them into a topspin hero in our next video. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna take somebody who has no concept on how to hit topspin. All right, it's not gonna be a stage thing to where they're really like a rock star tennis player. In fact, you'll see at the end that they're gonna look good, but you can tell that they're still gonna be on the beginner side. But we're gonna show them that it's pretty easy to get topspin on the ball. So people have been playing for years who might be able to beat this person in a match, can't hit the topspin that someone who has never had it happen before, they're gonna be hitting better topspin than people who may have been playing 20, 30 years. All right, so we'll be back on the next video to show you how we're gonna make that work.